Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we have the finalized Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 64. We get every single page, all the translations and everything, and so we're going to give our overall thoughts on this chapter and what we think is going to happen in the next one. Long story short, this chapter was basically just two parts. One, Goku transforms, and two, he beats the living crap out of Moro. A ton of hype, a ton of build-up over these God knows how many chapters. This arc has been going on forever for Goku to essentially just be able to turn on Ultra Instinct at will. So it appears that in the beginning of this chapter, he basically has a little conversation with Jacko, asking him why he went to the Galactic Patrol in the first place, and he basically just closes his eyes when he's ready and just turns on Ultra Instinct. And we get this really cool explosion of light and energy and wind, and it blows everybody away. But then all of that subsides, the air is calm, and he simply just looks down, his head is up, he looks down, and his hair is silver. So he is able to turn on Mastered Ultra Instinct at will. So one of the takeaways from this chapter is quite simply that Goku now has, just like Super Saiyan, just like all of his forms, he can turn on Ultra Instinct like a light switch. That's the revelation. There's not going to be anything like Dragon Ball Super where he has to be pushed beyond his limits anymore. At least that's not the interpretation that I get. He simply can just activate it. Basically, all of his forms, potentially all of his forms, are completely useless except for Ultra Instinct at this point. Now, we don't know the strain of it. Whis and Beerus said that it was perfect. So he has perfected Ultra Instinct, and potentially the strain on his body in the Tournament of Power when he transformed into Master Ultra Instinct was because he didn't know how to control it. Now he does. So if that strain is gone, you're talking about Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, God, and Blue are all completely obsolete. I mean, he essentially, from now on in Dragon Ball, would never have to transform into any other form ever again. Now, interestingly, in this chapter, there's a page where we first see the new Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, and Moro is looking at him like, what is that form? I mean, he just changed his hair color, bro. Like, I mean, I guess his hair and his eyes have changed, but other than that, it's still Goku. So I don't even know why he would even be like, what is that form? Oh my God, look at this hideous transformation, right? Like, he just change his hair a little bit. So there's some silly things in this chapter. Obviously, it's very easy to criticize the Dragon Ball Super manga. It is essentially just the very basic Dragon Ball tropes that we've gotten throughout Dragon Ball Z, just redone yet again. And obviously, I think a lot of people feel the same way. This is basically a combination of the Frieza arc, the Namek arc, and the Cell arc just simply combined. And it's basically elements of both of those stories to make a new story. There's nothing new, there's nothing dynamic about this. Now, when Goku first transforms, he first starts walking towards Moro. Moro is like terrified. And this is something I didn't really understand because he is so terrified. We've never seen Moro be this scared, and he is completely and utterly like crapping his pants, terrified, right? And the thing is, he's not a god, as he's admitted, so he shouldn't be able to sense Goku's ki. Why is he so terrified of Goku just changing his hair color, right? Goku has done that, and Vegeta have done that plenty of times before in their previous battles, and he beat the crap out of him anyway. So, like, why this time all of a sudden is he so scared? He can't read Goku's power. That doesn't really make sense. It's just, I guess, another classic Dragon Ball trope that they're implementing here into the manga. Now, I gotta hand it to Toyotaro because a lot of the art is really cool. The way that he depicts the Ultra Instinct movement is very, very sleek. The way that he bends Goku's body, tilts his shoulders, and things like that, the way he punches and attacks, he's got the movement down. Like, you can tell that he definitely studied the way that Goku's form is very, very different than traditional Dragon Ball, and I think Toyotaro actually really did nail it here. I love to see Ultra Instinct fight, the way that he kind of like holds his wrists, and I do like the way that he doesn't even have to look at Moro, and he basically just says straight up, my body moves on its own to Moro, and Moro's like, what kind of nonsense is that, right? But yeah, I mean, that's what Ultra Instinct is supposed to be, is your body moving it on its own, and in that aspect, Toyotaro definitely nailed it in this chapter, because when Goku first turned Ultra Instinct Sign or Omen and fought against Moro a few chapters back, it just seemed like a power-up, like he didn't really have the movement down like this. Now, interestingly, there is a part where Goku uses some sort of I would say new technique. It's almost like Frieza's paralysis. So he puts his hands out in this kind of like weird stance like that, and he's able to literally stop Moro in his tracks and freeze him. I guess he kind of used that. It could be the same thing that he used against Broly in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. If you guys know anything more about that, I know you guys are the experts. I make these videos. If I get the smallest thing wrong, trust me, I get corrected in the comments. So if you guys know more about this technique that he just randomly uses on Moro to literally freeze him in place and lift him up in the air like telekinesis, then let me know in the comments down below. But regardless, what Goku does with that is he basically just prepares the just most massive punch in Dragon Ball. This punch, this uppercut from Goku was so powerful that it just sent shockwaves literally surrounding, like it covered the entire earth. And I really like the way that Toyotaro depicted this. It really showed just the might and strength of this mastered Ultra Instinct Goku is completely and utterly terrifying. Just from the contact of that punch, it sent a wave around the entire earth. Very, very cool. I like when the artists, they basically just zoom out to show you the sense of, to give you that sense of scale, to show like how destructive and damaging something actually is. It really helps a lot as a viewer. And that face on Moro, man, that's the face when you nut and she just keeps on sucking. Beerus acknowledges that it's perfectly done, and Goku, that's the first time that he recognizes that Beerus and Whis are even there. They've been there pretty much since Beerus was there, so I don't know, that was kind of weird. I can't believe Goku like wouldn't know that they're there. And Moro is completely screwed at this point. I mean, this is basically like after Cell took the Gohan's ultimate Kamehameha to the face, blew off a bunch of his limbs, and got nailed in the stomach and puked up 18. That's what we're getting right here from Moro. He's at the end of his cusp, and just like Cell, he's probably got one final trick up his sleeve. Okay, so the very end of this chapter is basically Goku, he rips off his shirt, which basically whenever Goku does that, that means it's about to get real. It's nearing the end of the fight. You know, Goku loses his shirt and shit's about to go down. Now, the thing is, as Goku says, I want to fight like an Earthling, Beerus says, I have a really bad feeling about this. Okay, again, so what does this remind you of? Perfect Cell versus Gohan, right? This is Moro laying on the ground, puking up blood. He's completely screwed up. He's done for, right? But he's got magic, and he's obviously going to do something he has some kind of trump card or something like that he's going to pull out. He may even do the same thing as Cell. I mean, they've copied so many things from previous arcs. He literally might just inflate like a balloon and try and blow up on Earth again, right? But maybe Goku will do something different this time instead of teleporting to King Kai's planet. One more interesting thing that happened in this chapter was that Moro went full power, and these like beams of energy started bursting out of the ground, and as Goku kicked him into a beam, into one of his own beams, he lost an arm and a horn, and he hasn't regrown those since the end of the chapter, so it's very possible that he just simply won't be able to regrow his arm and his horn. Yeah, he's not going to be able to use Piccolo's cells, and yeah, I mean, we're basically getting Perfect Cell versus Ultimate Gohan right now. We went from the Namek arc to literally the Cell arc, and I think we're going to get a similar ending, obviously, to the way that the Perfect Cell arc ended. Moro's still going to have something up his sleeve. I mean, they couldn't be more clear foreshadowing than Beerus, the final panel, Beerus saying, I've got a bad feeling about this. It's like, do we need any more clue that there's obviously something? But yeah, I think actually, I was thinking that Goku was going to mess up. He is obviously getting overconfident, but the more I read this chapter, the more I start to think that I think Goku is actually going to kill Moro. I don't think Vegeta's going to come in and take the W, or Beerus is going to get involved or anything like that. I think Goku actually will kill him. But first, Moro's going to have to do something that's going to push Goku to do it. Like, he's going to create some death ball, or he's going to try and eat the planet, or he's going to shoot an attack at Goku, and Goku will redirect it back at him. I think we're going to follow one of those Dragon Ball tropes where you don't have like murderous Namek arc Vegeta anymore who just straight up killed people. It's like when they want to kill people now, it's like, oh, you shot a blast at me, like like your own blast has to kill you, right? Like Goku's not going to straight up just kill Moro. He's going to have to like kill himself somehow. And I think that's what's going to happen in the next chapter. Overall, pretty underwhelming chapter. Goku transforms, Goku beats the snot out of Moro. We knew this was going to happen, and they're just basically foreshadowing the whole thing for us throughout this arc. Everybody who's been theorizing this arc has been pretty much correct, but it's been easy. right? There's no crazy story, no depth at all, really, into the story anymore. An arc that started out fresh, unfortunately, has ended somewhat stale and bland. I guess there's still some more chapters to come, and my question is for the future. After Moro, now that Goku can just turn on Ultra Instinct like a switch, how are they ever going to come up with a new villain that can compete with that? It would have to be another god. And once he beats that god, then what? Is it going to be the Goku vs. Gods arc? I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I'll see you guys in the next video.